what's up, YouTube? Um, I think it's been a couple days since I posted my last video. Let me check on my phone. Um, it's been 8 days since I posted a video, and it's funny because I was watching this young female YouTuber. I was like, oh, that's crazy. She's like making content that is like similar to mine. Like she has like these two videos. I won't really go into detail, but she has these two videos where it requires you to kind of edit the video a little bit. And I was like looking back at one of my old videos, and I won't say which one because I don't want to put people on blast, but I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like we made like kind of the same content. And there's loads of content that looks like the content I put out. Not on the same subjects, but there's loads of content that looks like my content. At least this one specific video that I put out, like the way it's filmed and kind of the vibe that it gives off is like there's loads of videos like that out there. So I'm not surprised that I see more of these types of videos pop up, but it was just funny that someone I actually follow and have watched like a majority of their videos, like they just put out two videos that were like I think 2 weeks apart, and they looked like very similar to mine. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I can see kind of where they would get that idea from, like based on all their other videos. I would see where they kind of got that idea from. Um, but I just thought it was kind of cool. So, um, anyways, I got a new pod for my vape. This vape can actually come apart. Here's the battery, and then here's the juice. And this one is triple berry lime. It's pretty good. My vape's only on 4%, but it actually can hit a lot longer than, even when it drops to 0%, it can hit for about 2 days before the battery dies. So, again, I'm in my room. I got my window open. Because if I don't open my window, then my voice carries into the rest of my house. My door is like right there, like right over there. My voice, since sound kind of vibrates in a small like room like this one, like it's either gonna go out the window or it's gonna go to the rest of my house. And I don't necessarily want the rest of my family members just tuning in to what I'm saying. Not because it's a little embarrassing, but yeah, it's fine. So I really had no idea what I was gonna make for this content. Oh yeah, something else that I saw is like I used to follow this channel um like years ago, like probably 2 years ago I started following them on YouTube, and I unfollowed them because I go through phases where like I'll unfollow everybody that I'm following currently just so that the algorithm can give me like more channels, because if I'm following like 200 channels or something, like I'm only going to see content from those 200 channels because that's what's being fed to me. But when I unfollow a bunch of people, like um, it suggests like new content to me. I don't know if that's how the algorithm works on YouTube, but essentially that's how it's worked for me for a long time. So there was this content creator, again, another like young female, um, probably like early 20s or something, and she posted this video that was like a kind of a sad video. Like she was talking about how she lost a teacher or something, and but I was reading this book, and I don't know if this is like related at all, but it's called Hokkaido. Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, and it's a really nice book or manga. been reading it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. Um, let's see where I'm at. Oh yeah. So I ended on. I'll show you the page. I ended on this page right here, and you can kind of see what's going on there. Um, it's this girl knelt down to the side of the bed with the main character. I think she's giving him a kiss, but essentially they really like each other. But the girl is moving from Hokkaido to I think South Korea to do like makeup school or something. Like she wants to be a cosmetologist or something. I think that's what it's called. And he's a student, but he's like top of his class. And so many mangas have that same kind of trope of like, oh, beautiful girl and like guy like top of the class like get together or whatever. But anyways, it's kind of a tropey sort of story where a lot of like manga tropes are in it, but like I really like it. And it only took me like a day to read through like the majority of it. But yeah, it's such a good book. But anyways, the point I was trying to make was like there were some similarities between this book and what this girl was saying in her sob story. Not really a sob story, just like sad story. That was like 2 years ago. I watched that video. I was like, damn, I'm wondering if there's like a connection or something. So that just kind of like sparked it, kind of like reignited this like memory in my brain. And I was like, oh, that's like super cool. So, yeah, if I wanted to talk about anything serious, like, if I wanted to talk about anything serious, like how my relationships are right now, or anything like along those lines, I'd probably have to wait till nobody's home. And that's just because, like, if I'm talking about that, I like to have like privacy. Um, but yeah, I didn't really know what I was gonna post today. Wow, my mustache is really coming down to the edge of my lip right there. It used to be like up here. It used to be like kind of like up here. Now it's like all the way down here. It's kind of cool. My this beard, you can't really tell in the video, but it actually has grown out quite a bit in the past like 2 weeks. And that's because I'm doing the retention thing. I'm doing the semen retention thing. And I think like if more testosterone is in my body, then like I have like more of this. I don't know if it might be correlated somehow. But I broke my promise to myself at 13 days. And I was like, oh shit, like, but the thing is like, so I was going off of the internet content and I was going off of the act, for almost 2 weeks. And the record that I had, like, in most recent memory, the longest I've gone without either of those things is about 14 days. And I know that's kind of a sad thing. It's like, oh man, you can't last for 14 days. But it's actually like, I started like watching internet porn for like on a regular basis when I was like 12 years old. And it's been kind of inconsistent. Like my own personal trends with it have been kind of inconsistent for the 10 years that I've been watching it, but like it's been pretty consistent for that time. it's inconsistent, but consistently, like I've used it for like every year for like the past like 10 longer years, 10 plus years. And so at this point, I can't go without it for about, I can't go longer than 14 days because then I start to get seriously ill. Like in this most recent period that I was doing it, I started getting super sick around like the fourth. Hey, what's up?
Do you have baby oil?
Yeah.
Can I use it to tan?
Yeah. There you go. Awkward little encounter right there. Why do I have baby oil? Well, I think you can probably guess. But yeah, the longest I've gone without that is like 14 days, and then I get really ill. And it's like, obviously, that's like a withdrawal symptom sort of effect thing. So I have to get creative with like, how do I break that cycle? I'm 26, and there's this girl from school that I've been talking to for the past like month, and we stay in contact like over the weekends. And I'm actually going back to school this week just for the last week. And in the last week, they're trying to help us get our license online. So it's not even really like an educational class. It's just like they're helping us get the license. And so I'm just listening to my sister out there. But anyways, so yeah, they're trying to help us get the they're trying to help us get the license. And I finished my internship. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's been going on with me. So, but yeah, I have to get creative in terms of like, how do I deal with this problem? I know I could probably go to a counselor and try getting help that way, but it still wouldn't change the fact that I get like pretty ill after like 14 days of being off of it. Like that wouldn't change. And then there might be some medicine that can help treat like my symptoms, but like still like it's kind of ingrained in my brain. So I'm hopeful that there are ways to deal with it. But like I was saying, like I'm talking to this girl, and so I want to try and deal with this. Like she's still at school, so I have a grace period where I don't have to pursue her heavily, like take her on dates and like get to know her parents and like do all this stuff. Like I have this grace period where she's at school, I'm at home, I'm trying to find a job. But while I'm at home and she's at school, I need to try and figure this thing out so that I can, be in a relationship for the first time, pretty much in a long time. Maybe the second, like after like 20-30 minutes, like I'll pause and then I've actually wanted to talk about how I lost my V card for a long time, or how I lost my virginity. I've been wanting to post that video for a while because I know there's like videos out there like that. And I think it's kind of a cool story. Obviously I can't go into like, I don't want to go into like too much of the details, but I can tell you how the events leading up to it, and then I can kind of give you like a vague description of how we spent our time together, like me and this girl. And then I can tell you what the aftermath was of it, which kind of the conclusion to the story wasn't so great, but it was, it was a good experience for me. And so I'll just leave it at that. Well, no, I'll go into it more in depth in the next video. But yeah, that's a part of my life I want to open up about on the internet more. And I already do have some solutions to this problem, but it's a really personal thing. It's a lot of it's a personal thing for all guys and for women too. Obviously, for women, it's a little bit different. That's that part of our life is a little bit different than women, but so I can't really speak to women on that, but I can speak to guys and like how I deal with it, how I manage it. You know, what are my triggers for seeking privacy and getting on the internet and watching that stuff and like all that kind of thing. Because my YouTube channel, it's not private, but I don't see how, and it does have my name in it, which is, but I've tried looking up my name before. I've just put in Patrick Kennedy to the search bar on YouTube, and my channel doesn't come up. Like there's a million other Patrick Kennedys on YouTube, so like my channel doesn't really come up immediately. You'd have to search for a specific title in my YouTube playlist in order to find my channel. Like if you were looking for me, like if a potential employer or a girlfriend or someone was trying to find me on the internet, like they would have to look up a specific title of my video, and like obviously that's probably more difficult. But so yeah, so I'm gonna try and open up about that. But one way that I kind of manage my lust or sexual thoughts or whatever is I buy these kinds of books, these mangas, and I have a couple of them. I've like, are they in here? Yeah, I have a couple series. I have 3 series on these types of like romance mangas, and I read them, and I try to get value from them, and I try to use it to substitute like internet content, and you know what I'm saying. And so that actually helps me a lot because I have a pretty good imagination at this point. Like I can really like delve into like a book, not really like just words book, but like mangas. I can really delve into it. Um, and what I like to do is I like to imagine certain voice actors that I see on like anime, and I like to imagine that their voice is coming from the characters in the book, and that like I can actually like in my head I can like almost like hear those voice actors and from these characters, and like that helps me like delve into the book a little bit. And so yeah, these books have really like opened my eyes to like the fact that in the future it might be able to substitute internet content completely. At the moment I'm still dependent on it, but I don't think that'll be the case forever. And I was thinking like what if I started doing like my own art, like my own like hentai art, and what if I tried to like get into that, and that might help release some of the tension in my brain around like this problem. It's a pretty deep rooted problem, honestly. So it is gonna take a while to get off of it, but like I'm like I feel like I don't have a lot of time because I really seriously want to start dating this person. But it's like I have these problems that I have to deal with, and I'm just like, damn. Like I wish I had figured all this out sooner, but like now that I'm 26, I'm actually like capable of dealing with these sort of problems. And like not just this, but not just personal problems, but like finding work and seeking therapy if I need it, and choosing healthy foods and exercising. Like I'm actually capable of doing all this stuff. So I have kind of started my healthy journey or my healthy road for the past couple days. Um, and I've been doing some like holistic stuff. I've been drinking like a lot of water, been eating healthy foods, and I've been exercising a little bit. So I'm trying to like start like a healthy kind of road that I can go down that'll eventually lead to some sort of stability that I can bring into this relationship with this girl or with this other person. And so my dream, like my goal, but it's more like a dream. Like I didn't think that this would happen for like a really long time, but I can foresee myself having a job, getting an apartment, and then having this girl move in with me. Um, I can foresee that like in the next like 2 years, I think. So that would be sick if that happened. And if not that girl, then I don't know. There's probably other girls I can meet somewhere, but this girl kind of feels like special to me. So try and make that work. So, anyways, I'm gonna pause there. It's at 20 minutes, and then I'll probably go into my story time. So, anyways, peace. All right, so here we are in the basement, and I got this Luffy One Piece hat on. You know what I'm saying? So lighting's kind of shittier in here, but than in my room because there's no natural light in here unless you open up the garage. But if I did that, then my sisters who are tanning on the porch would be able to hear me. So I'm gonna tell you guys the story of how I lost my virginity or V card, and so I'll just hop right into it. Um, so in high school, I so the girl that I ended up sleeping with was a friend of a friend in high school, and like I didn't know her that well, but I did talk to her like a handful of times in like the 3 years that I knew her. But I in high school, I knew like I thought she was pretty, but I never thought that like this would be the person that I finally lose my V card with. Like I was like there was a lot of other girls in high school where I was like hoping that I could get with them, but none of that happened because I had such bad anxiety in high school, and I didn't really develop any friendships in high school. So, I mean, I did have friends, but like as soon as I left that school, like none of them continued. So, there was one guy who I used to smoke with, like smoke weed with, and I saw him a handful of times after school. But then he kind of got addicted to like some other stuff, and then I kind of stopped talking to him. So, anyways, high school was kind of a huge bust for me, a huge like L. But this one experience kind of like was my like redemption, I guess, in the eyes of other people. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, how this happened was I left high school in my junior year. So I completed junior year and then I discontinued my time there. So I didn't do senior year there. Senior year, I did homeschooling classes. And so senior year is when I started. That was when I was like 17, going on 18. That's when I started developing like all these self help techniques that were like helping me kind of navigate life a little bit. And I did this one technique that was super like successful for me. And then that led to me eating healthier and working out a lot. So I used to walk like 2 miles a day because since I was homeschooled, I only had classes like 2 days a week. And so for the other like 5 days a week, like I was walking 2 miles a day. There was this huge gym that I used to belong to, and it had a pool. And I was a swimmer growing up. So I used to swim for about 45 minutes to an hour. And I could do push-ups and pull-ups and all these things that I can't really do anymore. But I was doing those exercises, and I was biking a lot too. So like I was doing all these exercises, and I got probably into the most fit that I've ever been in my young adult life. Like in the past 26 years, it's probably the fittest I've ever been. So I had like visible abs. I had like defined chest. I had defined arms. Like my legs were like lean, and my like face was lean too. Like everything looked like the best that I can really recall or remember. So, anyways, so I was in my best shape, and then it was towards the end of senior year. It was like after I graduated, and she was like gonna graduate at some point, or maybe she already did graduate. But I found her Instagram and I DM'd her, and I just started talking to her um, like casually. I was like, "Hey, like how's school going?" Like blah blah blah. Like I don't really remember the details. It was when I was like 18 years old, such a long time ago. But like I remember that I DM'd her on Instagram, and I was just talking to her, slid into her DMs a little bit. And then it happened all within like 2 weeks. Like it only took 2 weeks because the funny thing is she only lived like 2 blocks from me. So my house was on this road that was kind of up on a hill. And then her house, like if you go down the hill, and then go 2 blocks down the street, like her house was there. So I was like, we started like talking, and within 2 weeks, we were already like talking about like, oh hey, um, like it wasn't even really a dating thing. I think we might have gone on one date before we slept together, but like, I think we went on one date with one of her friends, and we went to this macaroni spot, which is like it's like custom macaroni or whatever. So we went there, and then it was like on the drive home, she was like, "Hey, why don't you like sneak over to my house tonight and like I'll have you up in my bedroom basically." So that's pretty much the whole like lead up to it. It was like a very short lead up to it. It's like we weren't even really dating. We weren't calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. We weren't public with anybody. Like it was a really was like a Romeo and Juliet sort of thing, like a really sneaky, devious sort of relationship. Um, Keep it private sort of thing. So it was just like the one girl who who went with us to that macaroni spot. Like she's the only one who kind of knew that we had been talking, and then um so then I left my house at around, I think it was probably 10 or 11 p.m. that night. I don't even remember if it was a weekend or a weekday or anything, but I left my house and I walked over to her house because it was like not far away, like 3 blocks most max. And then she opened up a side door on her garage, so obviously not the main door, but like she opened up the side door on her garage, and she was just like, ah. And so I was like, I ran over there, and luckily her parents' bedroom didn't have a window that was out on the street, so they wouldn't have even seen me approaching, which was a good thing. And then I went in the garage, and then I remember like I kissed her, and without getting into like too much detail, like we spent like the whole night in her room doing our thing. And then like that went on, like that whole like secret kind of meeting thing went on for about like a month. Like we did that for about a month. And then I did something really stupid. I guess it was just cuz my brain was still immature. Like I posted a picture of me with her, and I used like a digital pencil to like block her face out, but I didn't block like out her body. And she had clothes on and stuff, but I didn't like block out her body. And I posted that to my Instagram story, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, like you have a girlfriend, like what's going on, like blah blah blah." And like I remember my older sister got super upset because I think my older sister might have known that I was sneaking out to see her, and she knew who it was, even though I blocked out the person. Like she knew who it was, and she was like, it made her so upset that she actually cried. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like what are you doing? Like you can't be doing this." And I was just like, I was just being stupid. Like I should have never posted that. But it only lasted the day, right? Like Instagram stories only last a day. So I don't think hardly anybody saw it. I think maybe 30 people saw it. And like people were DMing me like, man, who's this girl who you're seeing? Like blah blah blah. And so that kind of turned the tables on how we felt about what we were doing a little bit, but we still continued for like another week, like seeing each other at her house. And I think I stayed till her house till about like 4 or 5 a.m. and then I would go home.
They shouldn't have to play. Okay, I can't. Okay, you gotta.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. Just making a video.
I thought you were upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Now we have that natural light. I don't know if you can see out there, but it's nice. It's my yard.
You see it? It's
Wait,
here.
where? Yes, I do see it's clear.
Yeah, I think on my line. I'll have a look, I'll let you know. Thought I saw a bag of that kind of stuff.
Where?
In our closet, I can't
Okay, let me
remember.
go look. I just need to know because I'm doing it this week.
I'm gonna have to cut the video there, then make a part 2 to it. But I hope you enjoyed the story so far. All right, here we are. They left, and so basically, like after I posted that video, like a couple people knew, and then it kind of spread around a little bit. But we saw each other for about another week, and then we made a mistake. During our time together, we made a mistake, which was not the big kind of mistake, but we made a mistake. She gave me hickeys on, I don't remember which side. I'm pretty sure it was this side. I'm pretty sure it was my left side. She gave me hickeys from like my shoulder up to like almost my ear. I had like 3 of them, like 1, 2, 3, something like that. And they were pretty bad by the morning. The problem was that I was having so much fun that when I woke up the next morning, like I went back to my house and I went to bed. When I woke up the next morning, I forgot that they were there. So for some reason, it didn't even cross my mind that they were there. And so I put on like my clothes for like, I think it was my last day of like school or something, or it was like graduation, or I don't even remember. I was going out somewhere with my mom and my brothers, and I go to the mirror to check my appearance, and my mom is like in the room with me, and I was just checking my face or whatever, checking my appearance, and I go, oh shit, and like I said it out loud. I was like, oh shit, and I looked at them, and I tried to cover it up, but she saw me do it, and she's like, whoa, what's on your neck? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, nothing. And she's like, no, let me see. And so like I had to show her because like I had just like blurted that out. Like, so stupid. And I guess I didn't see him in the bathroom when I woke up. So she was like, oh my God, like what happened to your neck? And then I don't remember if I told her that there were hickeys or if she surmised that they were hickeys, but I was like, I tried playing it off like it wasn't a big deal, and she's like, no, like that looks really bad. And then I think that she kind of figured it out, and she didn't know who he was with, but I think she asked my sister like, hey, who is Patrick seeing right now? And Kate, my older sister, told her. and they, because in freshman year they had tried to ask her parents, this girl, like they had tried to ask her parents if we could ride share together because they knew that she lived like really close. So they figured it out. And then my dad went over to their house and he told them what had happened. And they were like, they interrogated me. They're like, how long has this been going on? And like, I lied. I was like, oh, only like a week, like only like a couple days or like a week, I said. And they're like, okay. So they didn't know that it had been going on like for like a month, but like I kind of was able to diminish the I don't know, their anger a little bit, whatever. Like I said, it was only like a week. But then I think like, so we stopped seeing each other after that. And we didn't even try and reconcile and like go on dates or like make it continue or whatever. Like we were just like, whatever, like we're done with this. So kind of a sad thing. Like I know that's not a good example of a first healthy relationship, but and it wasn't like the full thing. It wasn't like dating and having your fun and doing all this other stuff. Like I know it's not the full thing, so it's not a good example. I'm not a good example of a first good relationship, but it was a good experience for me and I don't regret it at all. And I think that if I had to do it again, I definitely would, for obvious reasons. But yeah, it was a fun time when I was like 18. I think I was 17 going on 18 when it happened. And obviously we don't keep in touch anymore. We haven't seen each other. Like when I moved from California to Tennessee, like obviously we don't talk to each other, and we didn't really talk to each other afterwards either, because she kind of like blamed me. She was like, oh, why didn't you like cover them up, or like why didn't you like just say it was some other girl? Like she really didn't want to get in trouble for it because she thought her parents would like hate her. She actually ended up getting a boyfriend like a couple months later. Another guy who had gone to the high school that I went to with her, she ended up getting another boyfriend because I saw them talking on their I saw them posting pictures together on their Instagram. So it's like, it's not even really a big deal. Like she found somebody else and I was content with the time we had. So it's not even really a big deal. And obviously it's years later, so it's not a big deal to anybody anymore. But I still remember it pretty vividly, like how we spent our time and like all that. And it's kind of like, it's just a good memory from that time. So anyways, that's the whole story. You're all caught up. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Peace and love. Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Eat some fun food. Spend some time in nature. And if you're a content creator, keep making videos. So anyways, peace.